If you haven't already, please go ahead and click on the subscribe button, and while you're at it, click on that little bell too.
What's up everybody, it's me E-Man, and today we're going to review Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. Alright, let's do a quick intro. Miles Morales is bitten by a radioactive spider. Now he's got to learn what it takes to be the next Spider-Man and save the day before it's too late. Enough of that, let's get right into the good.
The good.
Now let's start off by talking about the animation in this movie. It's a pretty slick 3D style that almost has the motion of old school claymation. Despite not being the most traditional style of animation that many people might be accustomed to, it definitely works exceptionally well for the movie. This animation helps accentuate different aspects of the movie, more so from a visual standpoint. More specifically, the film flows in and out of different kinds of animation styles at times, but in a very subtle way. What I appreciated the most was how at different times the film would just turn into a motion comic book. Having that literal comic book element really helps to add that unique touch that comic book readers are oh so familiar with. The animation serves to be more of a practical medium to deliver on some of the more heavy concepts and themes. If this weren't an animated movie, it would be really hard to imagine some of the sci-fi elements working in a live action setting. So rather than having to watch live actors in a movie full of crazy CGI effects, it becomes a lot easier for the audiences to buy into more of these psychedelic visual effects in this film. Now, one of my biggest concerns going into this movie was whether or not this was really going to be a Miles Morales story or not. Luckily, it was. As you could probably see in the trailer, there are a number of other characters in the film. While I would have preferred more screen time for Miles, the timeshare wasn't all that bad. While they each have their own fun and unique moments to shine, none of them truly steal the spotlight away from Miles' character. You'll love the way Miles learns about his powers and discovers what it truly takes to become a hero. Another surprising win for this movie were the really cool action sequences that it had. If you happen to see the post-credits scene in Venom, then you'll already know what I'm referring to. As for the drama, this movie does have its fair share of feels too. It was great to see how this Spider-Man film was able to tap into the core elements that make the Spider-Man character so rich and deep. Even if you happen to know the outcome of certain situations for some characters, it won't matter. It doesn't take much to feel the pain, loss, and other emotional challenges that the characters endure. Thankfully, this movie wasn't a total downer. And that's because it was actually pretty funny. I suppose that is to be expected given the fact that Lord and Miller had a hand in making this film. If you're a fan of the past Spider-Man movies, then get ready to laugh your butt off as this film pokes fun at the Spider-Man movie franchise and drops a number of funny callback references. Don't laugh too hard though, because you may miss out on some of the jokes. Seriously, even the lyrics to the outro credits are pretty funny. And before I forget, the soundtrack for this movie was just perfect. The music transitions seamlessly at different moments to amplify the setting or mood during scenes. Better yet, every song sounds like something Miles Morales would actually listen to. As a result, both the music and the main character become a bit more relatable. Now, besides having the comedy, the drama, and the action, it's really the characters that serve to be the backbone of this movie. Shameik Moore was perfectly cast as Miles Morales, and Jake Johnson was an ideal fit for this version of Peter Parker that he portrays. I think the potential fan favorites that literally got me to laugh out loud will come from Nicolas Cage and John Mulaney's Spider-Man characters. Okay, enough of that, let's get right into the bad.
The bad.
Now, the only issue I really had with this movie stemmed primarily from, well, the animation that I praised earlier. While it is vibrant and colorful, there's a bit of blurriness that occurs throughout the movie. The best way to describe it would be like if you ever walked into a 3D movie and forgot to put your 3D glasses on. I'm pretty sure this blurriness was done intentionally, since it does maintain the character on screen to be in full focus. Either way, it's just a little bit distracting at times. Okay, enough of that, let's get right into the reason.
The reason.
Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse is hands down the best Spider-Man movie to date. Now, I had heard people mention that before going into my screening, and in my mind, I was like, no way could this top Spider-Man 2. However, I think it did. Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse just does so many things well that it's incredibly hard to deny its awesomeness. If you were halfway hesitant on seeing this just because it's animated, worry not. The content is definitely suited more so for teens to adults. And I am so happy that this movie represented Miles Morales in an authentic and positive way. I think this film helps his character live up to be the positive, diverse representation that he was created to be. This movie has everything a Spider-Man movie should have, and it will only leave you wanting more. And I suppose Sony knew exactly what was going on, because even before this movie's release, they already greenlit the sequel, which at this point I cannot wait to see. So when it comes to the rating for Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, I've got to give it a 9.5 out of 10. Look, if you're a Spider-Man fan, comic book fan, or if you're just interested in seeing a great story of a hero coming into their own, then Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse is definitely the movie you want to go see. I mean, this is nothing short of a must-watch in theaters. Also, be sure to stay until the very end for the very hilarious post-credit scene. Well, that's all I got for today. Thank you very much for joining me. Are you excited to see Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse? When you do get a chance to go see it, please be sure to come on back to this video and in the comments, let me know what you think about it. And is this actually the best Spider-Man movie that we've ever gotten? I'd like to know, where does it rank for you? I'm very curious to know what you think, so please let me know in the comments down below. If you enjoyed this review, please share it with your friends, and if you happen to know somebody who is a big Spider-Man fan, tag them to this review as well. If you're new to my channel, please don't forget to subscribe and give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. I've got more videos and reviews to do for you all, and until next time, I'll see you all later.